9 o'clock, everybody, so let's get this party started so we can get it over with. Has everybody had a chance to look at the packet?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Then I'm just going to start right in. We'll call this meeting to order, which I think.
Oh, I'll call this meeting to order, and we have a quorum.
Yes, there's 4 out of 5 of us, so 4 out of 5 of you guys.
Who's on
Erin.
Erin is on the thing.
Erin is on the screen. You can't
Okay.
see her, but
Great.
she is there.
Okay.
We already appointed members at our last meeting. Does anybody want me to go over the ORS and read that, or we understand that?
Yep.
Okay. This is the letter of financial standing from Judge Patnode. Brief overview of how the county sits. We're in a good place financially, as we have been historically.
Okay.
The next page is the supervised staff within the elected officials, like purviews. There was adjustments within the county commission positions and the county judge, which departments they oversee. There's a slight difference there from last year. Which I think the only change is that senior and family services moved out from underneath Commissioner Lund to Judge Patton. Comparison table. There's one little edit that I have. I had the Sherman County budget, their 24-25 budget, so that it's 41,000 or whatever I had listed in your guys' documents. I think I had like 81 or something.
Oh, and it's 40 something.
It's 41, yeah.
It says 41,
Okay, perfect.
26. Well, the printed one right here, maybe.
Yes, I think the one I sent you guys, that's
Oh,
gonna should be
okay.
highlighted and red on the one I
Okay.
printed so that you would see that I made an error there. But that's the comparables. Really, if you look at the box, that's like the lower left one, which is our full-time salary equivalents plus the average comparables. That's probably the best one to look at, and it's really right in the mix of everybody else's. Following pages are just the CPI. The CPI is coming in at 2.4. The next page is the 10-year history. It just kind of shows you the variance that we've had. Any questions on the salary comparisons or the CPI? Erin, anything from you? I can see, if not, no worries.
No, I don't have any questions at this time.
The following page is just the proposed, for the rest of the county court positions, or excuse me, for the county positions, we're going for a 3.5% increase for the CPI. So that's what I've proposed in this spreadsheet, but I can also, if you guys want to see any other numbers, I can pull that spreadsheet up and adjust the CPI. Except I don't know.
And the non-represented and the represented are getting at 3.5.
That's what we're going after, yeah. The budget committee, of course, will choose that, but, right. That's what I'm proposing in all the budget worksheets is 3.5%. And we did meet with the union on Friday, and that there was no walking from them at that number by any means. And then the following pages are just the stuff from last year, the 25 salary schedules and recommendation.
I'm sorry, Brooklyn, did you say that you met with the union?
Last Friday, we met with the union just to go over, we're currently working through moving our hourly positions to salary positions.
I
That
see.
was what it was about, but this conversation about the CPI we were going after was brought up within conversation.
Got it. Were they satisfied with the proposal?
Yes, in a non-formal manner.
Yes. Yes, got it. Thank you.
And their contract's not up for negotiation. You guys were
No.
just
Yeah,
looking at some.
we're just doing an LOA within to make that adjustment, so that just came up.
Any questions on the packet?
No, appreciate all the information.
Okay. Elected officials comment?
That's the compensation board. This is the table.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. I just prepared a little bit of information for you for my request. Last year during the compensation meeting, I had not taken office as Gilliam County Judge. I decided to wait and see how the year progressed as Gilliam County was going through a very difficult time on the heels of a recall of 2 county court members. I brought to the position 21 years experience as Gilliam County Justice of the Peace and 37 years local government experience. But for the good of Gilliam County, I didn't ask for more than the step 1 position. What that resulted in for myself is, had I stayed in my Justice of the Peace position, I would have been making $5,000 more than I took a pay cut basically when I took this position because I went to step 0. So I took office June 11th with 1 staff member, Brooklyn. Thank goodness for Brooklyn. And in the meantime, we brought on, she's gone, Anya Mundy, who is a wonderful addition. So we have a great team, and it's been over the last 10 months, a very positive experience. But when I came into the office, I walked into a situation, there was community strife. Minutes hadn't been done for months. No budget had been passed. Between June 11th and June 26th, we passed a budget that desperately needed to be passed. And the experience that I hadn't brought helped us get there because I knew I understood the budget process due to my prior experience. We had no data lines, no phone lines. This was because of a recent move into the office. There were no computers, no paper files, no email history of Gilliam County administration. Everything that had to be done had to be searched for. I enlisted tech support and received 2 years of email history, which was very helpful to see where we were and what projects had been started and where we needed to go. After 9 months, a stable foundation has been established for Gilliam County's administration. So as I said, I went from a certain wage as Justice of the Peace, and then I didn't say anything because the best thing to do was to just get us through the time we were in. As I said, it was a very volatile time for Gilliam County, and we're much more stable now. The public wants their government to run efficiently and effectively, and in 10 months, I believe we're there. Departments work together. The results of a financial review showed no adverse findings, and progress has been made. The administrative office over the last year has accomplished that stability with 1 less staff member than under the prior administration, and that's just for various reasons, but we're doing it with 1 less person. I arrive at work at 7:30 and some days are 12 hours. I'm not complaining about that. I'm just letting you know that it's very important to show presence in the courthouse, but also show a presence in the community by going to events, night meetings, and things like that. Legislative, we're keeping up with the legislative session, which is going on right now. On Tuesday mornings, that starts at 7 in the morning with Eastern Oregon caucus calls, and that's weekly. We have a clear understanding of the budget, and I think we're on track to get our budget passed. I came into in the middle of a SIP agreement, which we're getting to the point, hopefully Wednesday we'll have it finalized. And that was a big learning curve, which with the help of the assessor's office and Business Oregon have learned that process and understand what it takes to get those agreements and also understand where we are with those agreements in the 15-year time frame, and what we're going to do when those agreements end and how those will roll into property taxes. And learning all of that study has been a big part of what we've done. Managing contracts and building a foundation with the staffing levels for the county administration. That's just a little bit of an overview. So I'm requesting that I move across the scale. I'm going to leave it up to you. I'm asking to be above step B.
Okay, so to clarify, you're not asking for a change in the scale.
No.
You're asking for credit for prior experience to move you to a different spot.
Right.
In the, is that something we do? Yeah,
We've done it for numerous employees,
okay,
or even merit based if they were outstanding for some reason.
okay. So as part of our, to clarify, so as part of our recommendation, we would say something along the lines of, we are proposing to the court a 3.5% CPI increase for everyone, and then for Judge Patnode, we're recommending we move her to step whatever we collectively agreed to.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your work.
There's nobody else online, so there's no other public comment online. Anybody else?
Can I just, real quick,
Yes.
address the
First of all, thank you for volunteering to serve on this committee. Much appreciated. One thing I learned, and this is just informational and something I would like for you guys just to discuss for next year maybe, or maybe even this year. But one thing I learned last year is, in reading the ORS, the comparables. I think it's supposed to be local industry and business and private whatnot. And I learned a lot last year in my research. The local, comparing to other counties is, we have to do that, but it's also local business and industry. And taking into consideration the economics of this county and the industry that's in this county, I think kind of raises the bar, because that creates more work for all of us. So I just feel like we should go a little deeper into our comparables and different things.
Have a more complex analysis.
Yeah, and it still has to be fair with, what our employees are doing too. It's creates havoc if your elected officials are getting substantial increases and your employees are moving it cold, which sometimes isn't real accurate. But anyway, for the future, I just feel like more in-depth research into the local economics and what our industry around us is doing in this county. So.
I did have something from him that I didn't include in the packet. I'm realizing, sorry. He
All right.
did, I guess maybe you can speak to that, seek out questions, either did not want to disclose or unable to disclose feedback from some of the local public sector folks, private sector, I mean. Trying to find what I can.
So you did seek the
Yeah,
information,
I
but
did talk
most
to a few people, but
did not share.
they didn't run into it. But that, I maybe I have the right relationship, or
Or something to start sooner, we can always try to gathering more. One of the other things that I saw a lot in comparables is that a lot of places don't have salary schedules for their elected officials. It's just
This is what you get paid.
this is what you're getting paid. Every year you'll get this increase, they have like a 5 to 10 year schedule already pushed out for it. But I was surprised to see that, I guess, once I really got into people's budgets, that a lot of salary or a lot of EOs are just, set, no step A to step E. All right.
I would like to note, I fully support Judge Pano in her increase. She's been incredible through this time.
Any other comments from you guys?
I've got a
Oh,
lot.
Nathan,
'Cause I-
what do you got?
Well, we got a whole stack here, but we're not going through the whole stack, don't worry, it's not my goal. But good morning, how's everybody?
Good morning.
I like what ifs. I was an economist originally, so I like what ifs. But we all know what the economists are about, so. See, I probably lost myself, so here's. You guys already saw this, but I just did it over again. Well, I'll answer that, I don't want anybody to miss out.
Okay,
Did I give you
There you
two?
go. I can give mine.
Yeah, I can give you
but
two.
So-
I know, it's real small, so I'm testing your.
I'm gonna have to bust out my reading glasses. They came, they're of the age they came prepared. I'm still in denial.
No, me too. I just looked under my glasses right now, but I'm gonna have to.
Maybe by next year.
I seriously have them. I'm getting them.
So this is just our current, salary schedule and then the proposed, so my proposal is to bump the elected officials up to the top salary of a non-elected position in Gilliam County. Or that's what I want to ask. And when I say elected officials, there's just 4 of us that are in the same salary bracket. And then everybody else is on their own kind of bit.
So what?
So we've got, if you look through your other salary schedules, if you look the last page,
Which was at the top of it, which,
yeah, the undersheriff's at the top of the
Okay.
non-elected salary schedule.
okay,
Do we have an undersheriff?
yeah,
We do have an undersheriff as of last spring, or well, July maybe, Gary? Last July. But that wasn't known last year when we had this meeting. Yeah, it was announced in the budget committee meeting. So. I thought of lots of smart things to say, but I'm not gonna say them, so.
Okay. So I just want to clarify. So you are suggesting for the 4, the clerk, the treasurer, the justice of the peace, and the assessor, that we go with basically the undersheriff line?
Uh-huh,
Okay,
and then for 25, 26, it'd get adjusted by the COLA.
but, so that's less than
Well-
what this is. So maybe it's because the years are,
That's because the year's off. The sheet I just gave you was the 24-25 budget year. So you want this sheet here, this is the 24 with the COLA.
okay.
Is it possible for someone to text that to me or email?
I'm trying to pull it up, I can pull it up on the screen.
But like, okay,
Thanks.
so
Uh-huh.
this is 102,311 and this is 102,614.
Oh, well, it's a typograph here, that's probably my fault.
Brooklyn, I have what you sent in the packet. I can see that. The supplemental.
Yes,
This,
I'm trying to figure out what one we're going off of and then I'll pull it.
no, it's gonna be different. This is the proposed amount. This is my proposal. This is what Brooklyn prepared.
Right, this is what Brooklyn
But
prepared.
this is for the adopted budget and this is for the new budget.
So you're saying,
So this is what it would be. What I was trying to do was all the comparables in the beginning of this were based on the 24-25 budget year. So this would be what it would be if it was 24-25.
okay,
So
so
I
then we would
confused the
add 3.5%.
Yeah, so
to
this would be what it would be if it was 24-25 adopted plus the COLA.
So you want me to so you want the base to be
Okay.
87,462.
Yes, for 24-25.
So this is the page we need,
Yes.
okay.
I was trying to frame it, but this is,
So if I calculate, you want me to calculate this
Here.
base?
So the base would be, if for 24, 25, or 25, 26, it'd be 95, 23.
Sorry, I'm getting there.
Be 25.
Would you share with me what the base would be again? I didn't get that number, 90 something?
So basically on the page that you have, that's the base salary to match the base of the undersheriff. And then we would add the COLA 3.5% to that. So then the numbers, oh, she's sharing. Oh, see, this is why I can't wear the glasses all the
Oh,
time.
yes, I know. Yes.
You need to get
Oh,
out,
yeah, the
right?
string.
The base would be. Or no, this, I'm still putting in last year's actually. This is from last year's.
Adjusted.
I don't understand why it's so much different. Maybe my numbers are messed up. Why is it?
This is the base times 3.5%. This is the base times 3.5 plus the.
Plus 3.
4, 4, 5.
Yeah, so my top number is off for some reason.
Okay, so we should use what's on the screen.
Thumbs up if you can. Yes, so what's on the screen
The
is
120.
what he is, the adjustments that I just made is. the proposed
Okay, well,
amendments.
I haven't said, I must have an error, a formula error in my sheet.
But the point of yours,
The point
Is
basically
that-
is that,
the base pay of those 4 elected officials should match the top pay of the non-elected officials.
that's my point. And it really comes down to like, it's in, I'm sorry. I mean, the different elected officials have different responsibilities in different counties. And so some counties don't even have, you know, a treasurer basically, it's all in the finance office or some. So, you know, the old story, every county's its own thing. See one county, see one county. So I mean, some of these counties, like assessors in particular, they have a hard time finding, some of their employees because it's a real specialized niche. And I mean, it's the same with sheriff's officer. Everybody's got their own specialty. So it just seems reasonable that the sheriffs have the most influence because they actually are in every county. And so they're written into the ORS. If you go read it, it says that the sheriff's not supposed to be compensated less than their highest paid employee. And so that's kind of my logic. Well, I'd like to not be compensated less than the highest paid employee too. But I mean, at some point that might be unreasonable if we had like a county manager model. That's its own specific skill set, right? So it would be, I think it'd be unreasonable in that case.
You're gonna create the same problem with the judge position now. Because if they moved up one, because I gave them the option, I just want to be moved, right? I just asking to be considered to be moved, period. That makes me less than the proposal.
But those are all coupled together, right? The judge position is always been 10%.
Well,
So you would just have to increase the judge position by 10%.
right, the way it did work was we had the sheriff and the judge were both at 100%, and then all the other electeds were at 90%. But that kind of got hidden on these other sheets. But that was the way it did work. And then all the salaries in whole county originally were indexed off of the judge. So, you know, some of the union members made, I don't know, 85% or, and I don't know that we have to follow that model. That came from Sherman County, you know, about what, 2011, Reed? Long time ago at any rate. And that was kind of how they made sense of it. And basically the logic behind that is, you know, in theory, I could be the assessor if I got elected. I just have to pass some coursework, or I could be the justice of peace, or in theory. I'm not saying that I'd be the good candidate, but So I mean, that was kind of logic, because all those positions, they're real similar from that aspect, so they just harmonized, I guess, at this 90% level.
Okay. Any other new things?
No,
Okay, Chet, were you gonna say something earlier?
Just that I think the judge, if you do make a change in our pay, you should make sure that the judge's increases by, the steps by 10%, so that we keep that. That was my concern last year with decoupling sheriff salaries, that also we have all these different salaries that aren't really correlated.
Okay,
And the commissioners?
Commissioners are just, they're the same as we are in the league, aren't they?
They are.
yeah, they're 30%,
So,
0.3 FTE.
so they would increase the same as ours. Right?
Well, I mean, if you kept the percentile model, I mean, it's a little distorted at this point, because if it's indexed off the sheriff, or, you know, is it off the highest paid? He used to be the judge with the highest paid elected official, so it's off. I don't know. Maybe we forget about the 90% model.
okay, I got it, unless there's something new.
Nope.
Okay. Okay, so I think we have three things to discuss. One is whether or not we want the base pay of the bulk of the elected officials to match the base of the top pay of the non-elected officials. Second is what step, how much more the judge position should be above that if we change it. And then third is, do we want to propose moving Judge Patnode to a different step in this, on the judge schedule? That seem like the right questions?
Yes.
Answered? Okay. Thoughts?
I guess if.
Yeah.
So you're just matching the undersheriff, or you're not gonna be above the undersheriff if you're just using the same.
No, we're just matching. That'd be my
He'll still be
proposal.
a step E, he'll still be 105,000, which is your basis.
Right.
Okay.
So do the same.
Yeah, I'm not,
Yeah.
I mean, I know Nicole loves talking about changing steps, but I'm not really proposing that. It's kind of, it's on.
If I were queen of the world, I'd go to the, like, just one and not have. two.
Oh.
But
I like that.
We all like that, so maybe next year. Okay, I have my hat in my house now.
I'll tell you what they have to stake on that other sheet is that base, I don't have that on mine. I just step base in my brain, but that's not the way that sheet's set up.
Which I adjusted it, I had the wrong base in there, so now our 70s line up. to be the
Oh,
same.
okay.
90.
Woo, I can't do math.
It's amazing.
This is embarrassing.
Look at us out here.
Okay, so Aaron, Reen, or Rich, what are your thoughts on moving the base pay of the elected officials to match the under sheriff's base pay, which is the top non-elected official base pay?
So moving the base or step A, would it be?
So, yes, so A moves to that
$3,000 increase, change from what?
that's prior to the 3.5%, or it includes
This,
it?
this includes the 3.5%. This would be what the salary schedule would look like if you
Okay,
approved it as just presented.
gotcha. Okay,
I would be satisfied with that decision.
I would too.
Pretty good sense.
I'm comfortable with it too. Okay. Do we need a motion specifically about that, or can we like discuss all the parts and then do the motion and the vote?
I think you got to tell them.
Okay. Very good. All right, so consensus is we agree with moving the base pay of the elected officials to match the top pay of the top non-elected official, which is the undersheriff. And consensus is everyone agrees. Okay, so next is looking at the sheriff, or excuse me, not the sheriff, the judge. And do we want the judge position to, I feel like before it was more than 10%.
It was 10%.
10%? Okay.
But it'd be what, 11% if you're going backwards.
Huh?
100, it's 90. To get 90 to 100, so it's 11%.
Yeah,
Sorry.
hold on. I just gotta do my own math here.
What do you know,
Okay, so. Yeah, okay, 11%.
11.111, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the gap between the bases in the past was 11%. Do we want to maintain that same premium for the judge? The 11.11% premium for the judge position?
Yes, but we could bump her up to step C.
Well, I
If
think
we
that's
chose to.
Yeah, I think that's a separate choice.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay,
I think we're modifying the schedule
okay,
first
To
and
11.
then,
okay,
we can propose which step she'd be in.
all right.
Doesn't make sense.
I think if you went back to your old formulas, but change
No,
the
you-
base judge one to plus 1.11
Yeah, it's just
of
the
the
base.
one below.
Yeah, you did it through all of them. I mean, I'm sure Judge Pat would like that.
So I do that one is equal B12 times 1.11.
Equals B12. That's correct. Copy. Times 0.11.
111.
One.
It's infinity.
No, 1.11.
One.
There you go.
Point one. We got her.
Just to add a little more to the conversation, since the judge and the sheriff used to be coupled together, should the judge be closer to the sheriff today? Because she is more of a county administrator than that of the other elected officials. So in the last year, I don't recall what the salary schedules were, we're replacing the judge with a county manager. And if recollection serves, county managers start at higher than what this judge position tops out at. I think 120 to 140 is what's I'm recalling. If you're looking at it, maybe she should be maybe 20% of the other elected officials, maybe a little bit more.
Let's put in 15%.
1.15. I can do that.
It says that it's basically between 104 and 122. So that, like excluding who's in the role, does that seem like the right?
Increase.
Don't try anything else. Aaron, do you want to try anything else? Can you even see this?
It's hard for me to go back and forth on my phone. Yes, I can see the screen and then I'm comparing it with the email that Brooklyn sent out. I am trusting your judgment as we move through this. I like the 11, the 15 would be fine. Yeah, I appreciate the discussion.
I kind of like the, So since this is public information, I'm gonna put out there, like, the superintendent position gets paid 120 at the school. So I feel like when you're the judge of our county or the superintendent of our school, you are like the CEO of the operation. So I entertain more, but I feel like that's the 15% bump up from the base seems,
Reasonable.
yeah.
Yes, I like the 15%.
I don't want to see if I can find the proposed with the. Administrator. So that, the base step for that was, yeah, was 117.
Rich, do you feel comfortable with the
I think
15?
that seems pretty equitable. So,
Okay.
I'd go for the 15%.
The
I'd go for
presentation
the 15.
Okay,
Yeah, I
that
think so.
came for the county administrator was base of 117, max step was 140, was what the
proposed wage would be.
I'm comfortable with that.
Okay, so right now, we have consensus that the base pay of the elected officials will match the base of the top paid non-elected official. The judge position will be 15% above that base. And so then our final decision will be what step we are going to recommend moving Judge Patno to. So she would naturally move to step B, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so naturally she'll be at B this next year. What, based on her years of experience with county government, what step should we recommend she be in?
Has there been a precedence like this before? Forgive me, I'm not as aware probably as I should be. Have we had folks move within the county and then have to start over? For example, I was a teacher for many years. So if I taught for 15 years in Pendleton and I went to Condon, they would still honor my 15 years as an example.
They're nodding their heads that for other positions, the county has collectively honored that prior experience.
Thank you.
I think Pat Shaw, I really don't want to get caught in something that I don't know for sure, but I think she was the assessor and then she moved to county judge and she approached the compensation
Yeah,
committee
another
about that, if I
example,
remember correctly.
Dave Messenger wasn't an elected official, but he was in the assessor's office for several years and then moved to the elected assessor.
Okay,
And I know he compensated him after the first year for that experience.
I think it'd be almost impossible for a representative employee to.
No, they can't get
Yeah.
the collective bargaining agreement, they have to make more money than they do for this position.
oh, okay,
But-
in your first year, you did not start.
I got credited, well, the steps were different, but I got credited some steps because I was an accountant prior, did it, was out of control.
okay. So, and Judge Patno, do you have over 20 years of experience as the justice of the peace, is that right? Which would far exceed step E's 4 years requirement. Mhm. So would we feel comfortable moving her to step E? Or recommending, it's not our choice.
Yeah, I think so. With
I do
her
too.
experience.
With her experience and the amount she's accomplished with this within this last year. Yes, I think Stephanie would be.
Erin,
It
are
is-
you comfortable with that?
Yes, it is reasonable to assume that you have to honor their years of experience regardless of where it came from.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Good thought, team. All right, do I hear a motion to,
And the rest of it, sorry, I guess the rest of it looks good, but we didn't discuss the proposal of the rest of the schedule is good with everybody, I
I think so, because okay, so here's what I think we're approving. Or here's the motion I think we're making. That we want the elected officials to receive a COLA pay increase of 3.5%. In addition, we want to move the base pay of the non-elected officials to, or excuse me, of the elected officials to match the top pay of the non-elected officials. We are also changing the salary schedule so that the judge position is 15% higher than the other elected positions, except for the sheriff. And we are recommending that Judge Patna gets moved to step E to honor her previous years of experience in county government.
I so move.
Okay,
A second.
all right. So it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion carries. So that, we just considered our recommendation, we just did our recommendation. Any committee concluding comments? Any elected official concluding comments?
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, this meeting is adjourned at 9:42 PM.